What if there were zombies in House of Dragons? We all know how Game of Thrones ends, whether you like the ending or most likely not, but we all know that the plot with the White Walkers was a pathetic ending, done hastily. The fact that the season was made without the author of Game of Thrones having finished the books is not something that has satisfied us. But here we are today in 2024, watching the House of Dragons, waiting for the dragons to continue killing each other. But what would happen if the White Walkers attacked in the middle of the Civil War for the Iron Throne? Or perhaps a zombie virus spread throughout the kingdom? In this video, we're going to find out. Introducing a zombie virus into the world of House of the Dragon would pose immense challenges for the kingdom of Westeros, particularly in the midst of the Targaryen civil war. The first major disadvantage would be the already fractured state of the realm. The civil war, known as the Dance of the Dragons, has divided the kingdom into factions, with noble houses pledging their loyalty to either Rhaenyra Targaryen or Aegon II. This division would severely hamper any coordinated response to a zombie outbreak, as trust and cooperation between the factions are virtually non-existent. Instead of uniting against a common threat, the lords and armies of Westeros might continue their infighting, allowing the virus to spread unchecked. Additionally, the medieval-level technology and understanding of medicine in Westeros would make it extremely difficult to combat a rapidly spreading zombie virus. The lack of knowledge about infectious diseases, coupled with primitive medical practices, means that the initial response to the virus would likely be ineffective. Furthermore, the superstition and fear prevalent among the population could lead to widespread panic, further destabilizing the kingdom. Without effective quarantines, proper understanding of how the virus spreads, or a means to develop a cure, the outbreak could decimate entire regions before any meaningful resistance could be mounted. Unlike ordinary zombies that are mindless and driven purely by the instinct to spread their infection, White Walker-like zombies would be intelligent, organized, and capable of strategic thinking. These creatures, likely led by powerful necromancers or even undead kings, could coordinate large-scale attacks on key locations, using the chaos of the Civil War to their advantage. This level of coordination would significantly increase the threat, as the zombies would not just mindlessly attack, but would also seek to exploit the weaknesses and divisions within the kingdom. The impact of these intelligent zombies would be devastating for the warring factions of Westeros. As the Targaryens and their allies are preoccupied with their struggle for the Iron Throne, they would find themselves outmaneuvered by an enemy that doesn't tire, doesn't negotiate, and is impervious to traditional warfare. Castles that are typically seen as impregnable would fall, as the White Walker-like zombies could raise the dead from within the ranks of their enemies, turning the defenders' own fallen soldiers against them. This ability to grow their forces from the dead would mean that every battle fought against them could result in a stronger and larger zombie army, making it increasingly difficult to contain or push back the threat. But as you might have guessed, there are some advantages to this catastrophic situation. The organized armies of Westeros would be one of the kingdom's strongest advantages. Unlike a peasant militia or disorganized group of survivors, the armies of Westeros are trained, disciplined, and accustomed to working in large, coordinated units. This discipline would be crucial in holding the line against the zombie hordes, maintaining defensive formations, and executing strategic retreats when necessary. Knights, infantry, and archers, all battle-hardened from the ongoing civil war, would be well-equipped to mount an effective defense, using their combat experience and superior weaponry to fend off the undead. But you know what's harder than beating the White Walkers? Getting 1,000 subscribers. So if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe. The castles of Westeros, many of which are ancient and built to withstand prolonged sieges, would serve as formidable strongholds against the zombie threat. These castles, with their thick stone walls, narrow passageways, and defensible positions, would be difficult for the undead to breach. From the high battlements of fortresses like Winterfell in the north, Dragonstone on the narrow sea, and Storm's End on the stormy coast, defenders could rain arrows, boiling oil, and other projectiles down upon the zombies, thinning their ranks before they even reach the gates. The strategic locations of these castles, Winterfell's commanding position over the north, Dragonstone's natural defenses as an island stronghold, and Storm's End's unassailable walls, would make them natural choke points where the zombie horde could be contained and destroyed with minimal risk to the defenders. These bastions would become vital refuges and rallying points for the living, where they could regroup, plan counterattacks, and launch sorties to reclaim lost territory. Perhaps the greatest advantage Westeros would have in this scenario is the power of the dragons. Dragons, with their ability to fly and breathe fire, would be a devastating force against the undead. Their fiery breath could incinerate large swaths of zombies in a single pass, and their mobility would allow them to strike quickly and retreat to safety before the zombies could retaliate. In the hands of skilled dragon riders, these beasts could be used to target key concentrations of zombies, disrupt their formations, and destroy their leadership. The sheer terror that dragons inspire could also serve to demoralize the zombies' commanders, if they possess any semblance of fear, and would certainly embolden the human defenders. While the dragons might not be able to single-handedly win the war, they would undoubtedly be a crucial element in turning the tide against the zombie threat. Zombies would be an element that would turn everything upside down. I would love to read your opinion in the comments. Do you think the Targaryens could end this threat, or would it be the end of civilization as we remember it? In the end, as we all know, the final decision is only up to the writers. But today, my dear friend, it's up to you. I'll read you in the comments.